But, I guess, as it says, municipal law in conflict with federal law, so I guess that's why they overturned it. And maybe the effects might be disastrous. I hope not. I'm hoping
that's what I'm
for
thinking.
minimal effects, but we should certainly mark this date, whenever it goes into effect on the calendar of statistics and see what happens with murder rates and whatnot in the DC area, and hopefully they'll stay the same or decrease. But then again, there could be a big spike because of this, and if there is a significant increase, of course, obviously they probably should reverse the law or attempt to, and and gain it back for DC being a special exception or whatever.
It doesn't seem like it's not ever really a high percentage of gun owners, legally owned guns, causing problems. It's people that have illegal guns. And
that's right. Often people who have guns illegally.
Yeah.
You're right. And often they don't open carry them or whatever, which you're supposed to do.
Well, they don't go through any system to get checked.
And they don't go through any system to get it checked. They often buy it hot off the market or whatever, off the black market. And so you're right, there's all these ways to circumvent it. But then again, for people who want to have guns, you want to use them for self-defense or whatever, they should have the right to have them too, of course. And so I guess it's like a balance. And I don't know. It's hard to say what's going to happen with this. Hopefully the impact will be minimal, but then again, it might be significant. I hear something worrying and cranking out, and there's machines
No idea what
behind me. Maybe it's switching to another DVD or something.
It might be the background thing, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's on repeat.
I'm assuming everything's still fine.
For the moment.
Yeah, for the moment at least, exactly.
It's not smoking yet.
Yeah, it's not smoking or anything. Yeah. All right. And that was nice, that thunderstorm we got earlier. We needed that rain.
We got one already? Because it seems like it's going to happen again if we...
I think we might get another
really
one.
humid.
There's a very good chance we'll get one later on this afternoon or this evening. And probably tomorrow too. What happened is we got one in Weaverville earlier today, like around 2. And it was a fairly substantial one, including a little bit of hail.
Did you get one on Saturday, I think it was, the day the 48-hour project started? It was downpouring.
It was like
I
was
it
gone
power washed
then.
my car.
Oh, wow, I was gone. I think we probably got it, but I was gone then.
It was intense. I
It
don't
was
know if that was
really
anything like today, but...
Yeah, maybe that was more intense. Yeah, I was up in New Jersey last Saturday. We had this family beach trip at my sister's beach house. So everyone went up to New Jersey. My sisters and my nieces and nephews. Rather. We all got together. And it was cool.
How was your weekend before? I heard you got to go to a show.
Yeah, that's what it was. The weekend before was the big Bonnaroo.
How'd you enjoy it? I've never been.
Oh, it was incredible.
Who were you going to see the most?
I thought I was seeing Phil Lesh the most, but by the time it was all said and done, I think Pearl Jam was definitely the best band there. And I thought they were just incredible.
They've always been really good.
Yeah, I'm really glad I made it. But I also saw B.B. King, who was really good.
Oh, wow.
Stephen Marley, who was really good. Robert Plant and Alison Krauss. And they were good, And Phil Lesh and Friends was really good, too. Widespread Panic was pretty good, and Metallica was really good too. But as I said, all of them, I think, in Pearl Jam was definitely the best. And that they played Saturday night. They were supposed to play from 10:15 to 12:15 midnight, but in reality they played 10:15 to 1 in the morning. Yeah, they extended it, which I'm glad they did.
After a cutoff time.
Yeah, they extended it past, and that's a little unusual because nearly every other band, the cutoff times were strictly enforced. I mean, they would end right when they were supposed to, and they would start pretty much right when they were supposed to. Because it was a complicated schedule, and over all these different tents. So I guess to really make it work, you had to kind of keep on schedule, and also made it easier for us fans, getting around and watching the concerts. A few of the concerts were late. Kanye West played. That's right.
I really wanted to see him.
But I missed her. But she was really late. First, she was supposed to start, I think, around 10. And then, like a day before her appearance, they scheduled her for 2:45 in the morning starting. Then, in reality, I think she started like 3:45 or something like that instead of 3:45. And apparently, from the people I talked to who've seen her, said she wasn't, she didn't live up to expectations, unfortunately.
Kanye?
Yeah, Kanye. And I think it's what it was, at least according to them. And I think it might have been because she played so late.
Probably.
She might not have been up to par, and plus it was so highly anticipated. Exactly, a lot of people were really pumped up for it, and she just might not have lived up to their expectations. Even people were saying that about Pearl Jam during the show. Oh, it's just a so-so Pearl Jam concert. Oh, the last one was better, or whatever.
Well,
and I'm like, well, maybe it was, but this was the first time I saw it.
Well, they're forgetting it's not a headlining show that way. I mean, when you go to just to see Pearl Jam, you've got their opening act or whoever's opening for them, and it's focused on them. But when something isn't focused around that band, then of course it's not going to be powerful and
yeah, I see what you're saying.
Everything.
That's true.
They don't have time for all that.
They don't have time for it. And just the sheer tight schedule of setup time and breakdown time, they might not have had enough time to truly set it up properly for their full-blown show. But I think they did a pretty good show, for sure. I think it was the best of all the shows at Bonnaroo. But, that's just my opinion.
I'm sure they did well.
Yeah, so it was nice. I had a great time. Of course, the tent was a mile from the concert grounds, so it was a long hike, and it was pretty brutal with the heat on Thursday and Sunday.
Oof, I can believe it. Oh, you missed a good time at Media Fest, but I'm sure Bonnaroo was.
Yeah, I missed all the Media Fest.
You got an award, right? I think you got an award.
I am unsure.
Oh,
I have to check with Jonathan. I forgot to ask him that.
I know they mentioned you were at Bonnaroo, and everybody said, "Oh, that's where he is."
Well,
he's having fun at Bonnaroo.
Yeah, well, they shouldn't have had it on the same weekend. It wasn't fair. Because I actually got my tickets right when they went on sale in January, and then like a week later, I found out that the Media Fest was on the same weekend, and I was like, oh well, I'm going to Bonnaroo. It's like sure, and it was a lot of fun. Must have been at least 100,000 people there. Maybe even 200,000. I mean, it was definitely a huge crowd.
So it was just all sunny, no rain, just
no.
hot?
We did get rain on. What happened is it was sunny and hot Thursday, and then Friday was kind of partly cloudy and cooler. Right, it wasn't quite as bad Friday, and then Friday night clouded over and rained. Friday night for my morning jacket, and which started at 12:30 midnight, or 12 midnight. I think they started at, or something like that, and I saw him, to start for the first half hour, right? And I was kind of tired, because you have to get up at 8:30 in the morning because of the roasting sun. And so what happens is, it was raining, and I was under a tree and hanging out there, and first it was off and on rain, then it got a little more steady. So I decided to go hike back to my tent. And so on the way back, I noticed that there's at least as much people going in to see the shows as there's going out. And, even though the rain's kind of steady at this point, finally I get back to my tent, and then within 5 minutes, it just really started to heavily rain. I mean, it was just raining so hard, it was just incredible. Yeah. So, anyway. It rained real hard for like a half an hour.
How much were tickets this year? I've never.
Aren't they like 100 and something a piece?
What?
Bonner
The
tickets?
tickets was $262
A piece?
a piece.
Wow.
That's for one ticket, and VIP tickets were almost twice as much.
Wow.
That's as much as my car payment.
I know it's really outrageous. But of course, that is for 4 days. It's
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday,
And a whole
Saturday,
bunch of
Sunday.
headliners.
It's like 50 something.
Well, if you pay like $40 a pop for each individual act.
Yeah.
There was over. I think
out,
there was
yeah.
over 100 acts there. Of course, a lot more obscure bands, but still, there's a lot of stuff going on. And of course, they they have to do, set up all the food stands and stuff, and pick up all the trash, and so on and so on.
Pay all the people working on it.
And pay all the people working there, and even the porta johns weren't too outrageous, because they pumped them out like twice a day or at least once a day. I mean, they really, kept them serviced or whatever, so they didn't get like super stinky. I think only one was real bad. I think that I went in, I remember. But I probably went in like 50 of them, it seemed. And it's like nearly all the other ones
Mark
were
that one,
largely
don't go in
okay.
there.
Yeah, it's like mark that one there. Exactly. And it was pretty fun. The whole overall. It was a nice time, and it was mellow. The people there were cool. I hung out with these teenagers. They're like 18 through 21 or whatever, and there were 6 of them. And the reason I hung out with them because they were nearby where I set up my tent. And they were right next door, and they had a tarp set up on poles, like this 8x8 or 10x10 tarp set up on 6-foot poles. And so you sit under the tarp in the shade, and yet you have a breeze. Where if you sit in the shade of your tent, you roast because there's no breeze. Even with the flaps open, there's not enough air. With the vent flaps open and so on and so on, you don't get near as much.
Yeah.
It's like 95 in your tent, but it's only 90 on the tarp. and it makes a big difference, you know. And so. Of course, I became friends with these people, and hung out with them. And they were nice, and they were cool with me, we're sharing beers and stuff, and so on and so on. I went to some of the concerts with them, and overall we had a great time. Let's see, there was Joel, Jake, EJ, Tommy, Paul, and Heather. 6 people I hung out with, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, it was fun.
I gotta get there sometime.
Yeah, I'm
Next
unsure
year.
if I'm gonna go next year. I probably will, but the lineup has to be good, to tolerate the extreme heat and the extreme ticket prices. So, I'm not going to guarantee it until, they have to lure me with the lineup, which hopefully might include Pearl Jam again, but hopefully a lot of other good bands. Who knows? They might already be working on it. That's what it says in their brochure. It says, as soon as last year's festival was over, we started working on the next year.
Yeah.
So, it's like they're like totally into it or whatever.
It's gonna take that long because so many bands are gonna pick it up and then drop and cancel.
Exactly. And so you're right, they probably really already trying to lure. Oh, and they have all the
Marketing
income
t-shirts.
from this year. And so they might even be able to put like an advance payment for commitment or something. Who knows?
If you buy your tickets now, you get a discount.
No, I'm talking about for the bands. Like, if you commit now to playing next year, we'll give you half the money now, or 10% of the
That'd be a good
money
incentive.
now. Yeah, to make it a booking incentive. I'm assuming they do stuff like that.
Yeah,
maybe it's 10% sometimes. Probably usually they don't have them, but maybe for something like Bonnaroo and to really lure someone who, is so popular, we could play in Tokyo instead, but we'll give you, 50% down or 30% down, something to like lure them in, sure, and get them to commit, sure. But anyway, And what else is going on? Where's John? He's just gone.
John is gone. We've taken over.
We've taken over. Okay, because I was thinking of mowing,
We can start
but it might be too
pushing
wet to
knobs
mow
and-
anyway.
Start pushing knobs and see what happens. And
Oh yeah,
What's this do? What's that do? What's
oh
this?
yeah, that's right. I
we can
start
rename the
mess-
show for a little bit.
Oh, hold on. There's the 420 roll. I mean the 620 roll, right?
Well, he's
Yeah,
the one
he's-
over there, whatever this.
I don't know if that's the one that's needed or not.
Oh. One of those. It says glitch. Thursday but it says Thursday 420. Number 11, so maybe it is. Maybe glitch is the name of the band.
Someone's got a loud ringtone out there.
Okay, that sounds like John's phone's ringing in the
He
distance.
must be nearby.
Yeah, he must be nearby. I think I can hear his voice off in the distance. And they had New Orleans jazz there, and for $5, but it's air conditioned. It's an air conditioned building. Oops, we lost stability. Hold on, I'm crunching chords. Oh God, I was crunching a power chord. Sorry about that.
I thought the background
I didn't
had
even see.
changed.
It was just a little white glitch
Oh.
that overcame us for just a second or two, but it rapidly disappeared. But of course, John needs to keep his setup a little bit better with the excess cords there.
Maybe we need a coil or a couple
Yeah, a
little
couple
coils.
of bundlers or whatever. Maybe you could organize it that way. I don't think I have any myself. Knowing him, he might have them already. I don't know. But anyway, so, But so anyway, hopefully it'll be a good concert next year. It's just a matter who you're gonna have.
They're gonna bring back all the good artists from the dead. That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna bring the Beatles back. They're gonna bring Jim Morrison back. They're
It
gonna
would
bring
be
Jimi Hendrix
nice,
back.
like if they had,
Pay to come back from the dead.
with John Lennon's son up there. That
Oh
would
yeah,
be
then no,
what-
they could do that.
That would be,
Sean
Julian.
Lennon,
Was it
Julian and Sean.
Julian? Hey, that would be a start. Of course, maybe bring in Ringo or something. I don't know. I mean, in theory, there's a lot of good people out there that, if they had enough pull, so to speak, they might be able to really put on a good band. Some good bands. Government Mule would have been nice. I think they played there in the past, but they didn't play there this year.
Yeah, they played either.
Oh, they just did it again.
I was like, that wasn't me, was it?
and I'm not on any chords.
Might
at
be the
moment.
weather if it's stormy outside. I don't know.
It could be interference from the weather. It could literally be only on the monitor and not actually going out on air. That could be a possibility too. Huh.
I don't know.
It doesn't look like it's doing it on the little screen.
Right. So yeah, well, if it's not doing it on the little screen, we're probably okay. That might be a good way to tell. If y'all notice it on one screen but not the other, that would definitely be a cue that it's probably something wrong with one of the screens. It just seems to come up from time to time. All right.
It's just seeing if we're paying attention.
Yeah, maybe that's it. They might be messing with us. Excuse me, you're burping away here.
It's alright. You're excused.
Yeah, it's like, gosh. Actually, I'm getting hungry again. There's all sorts of other food there, but I'm thinking
More sugar for you?
Yeah, exactly. It's like 90% sugar. I'm thinking more like something more substantial, like a burger or something.
See if they'll deliver to the tea party.
You're calling for delivery this way. Hold it.
We got a phone.
In reality, they might, like.
We'll put you on TV if you deliver us a free
Avenue.
pizza.
Pizza delivery, Asheville Pizza Brewing Company. That's true, probably within range. Because they don't come up to Weaverville.
Yeah, everybody
Anyway.
delivers down here. Nobody delivers
Yeah,
to
well-
Leicester and Weaverville.
Yeah, everyone delivers down here. I mean, in reality, I could probably really do it if I deemed to. I don't know if I want to do it though. I don't know if I have the patience. You gotta wait a half an hour or whatever. Or more. Sometimes it takes them 45 minutes. Oh, we've been busy. Sure, and someone is
Or yeah,
someone.
bring them over on Thursday at rush hour. Good time,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And
They'll
it
be
all
here by
depends. It all depends on the deliveries. Maybe they have like 4 pizzas they gotta deliver first in West Asheville, and then they'll come across to here or something like that. Anyway, yeah, they'll probably make it about 8. That's right.
What are we looking at? Phase angle.
Phase angle
Meter.
difference.
And it's money.
Yeah,
Is that
serial
legal?
number on the bill. Yeah, that's right.
Is it legal to do that?
No, I don't think as long as you're not copying it. If you're showing it, I think it's legal.
Just
if
a
you're
portion.
copying it, I think
Yeah, but
it's
if you
illegal.
tape the show, wouldn't that technically be a copy?
Well, in some ways it is. I guess I never thought about that.
It's like
But
when
anyway.
they busted those kids in, I think, California years ago, because they were teaching the like second grade teacher or whatever she was teaching them about like how to handle money and all this, and they made like obviously completely fake money and
Agents of the Penguin Conspiracy. Agents.
and the feds came in and like took the money away from the children and the teacher because. And it was like play money as play looking as Monopoly money. It was like nothing even remotely close to.
And they took the money away? What,
Yeah.
because they thought it could be construed as counterfeit or something?
Yeah, it is just.
And it was like Monopoly money? That's
Well, I mean,
insane.
I don't know if they hand drew like a Lincoln or a George Washington on it. I didn't really ever see pictures.
But
of
it was
like-
obviously fake
it was-
money.
Yeah, it was like.
Yeah,
and they were using it in school for
in
these little
school for
kids.
demonstration,
Yeah, it
yeah,
was
like a
so they're
kindergarten,
just
first
teaching.
grade, or whatever. Yeah, to show money handling. Yeah, it's also math, of course. It's two
Yeah.
lessons in one, and it's very fundamental, and it's just very stupid that they would even question it. I don't know. That just sounds really.
That is-
There's some really goofy rules that happen in modern day schools, which would never even have been considered, when I was growing up, and it's like, oh well.
I feel sorry for kids in school nowadays.
I know it's worse.
It's insane.
And some of them, especially in public schools, due to limited facilities, I guess as far as sports fields and whatnot, they have to share fields, among several different sports. And what happens is you end up playing your
Half of
sports
them.
might not get out till 8 at night. Because I saw them, practicing football at 8 at night. When I used to work for Domino's delivering pizza, over there at TC in Valley Springs. So it's just weird, that they do that, because then it's like your whole day is occupied with school. You would literally have no time for homework almost, let alone a social life. So it's like you'd just be totally programmed to totally work and have no time to free think about anything, which to me would probably drive me insane. But anyway,
I don't think it would drive anybody insane. That's just
it's just too much, and so I go back and I just relish that I used to be able to hang out and do whatever I wanted to do, go down to the creek and look for salamanders or whatever, and just have mellow time. And it's nice to be able to do that. Anyway, so
I
we got
definitely think
15
the school
minutes to the
systems are-
420 roll. Hopefully John will be back.
come back.
Come back.
Sorry.
Well, he definitely needs to do that because I have no idea what he
Yeah, he didn't tell me if that was the right CD, although it might be.
He's taking a siesta.
I was taking a siesta out there somewhere.
Oh, I think he heard us talking about him.
I hear him humming. That might be a good sign. It is. Are you back or not really?
Oh.
Not yet.
He's working on it. He looks like he may be
He's gonna do
approaching.
the Batman thing. He's gonna transform.
We have to wait. Alright.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Alright, how you
Uno,
doing?
you know?
Yeah.
Let's see.
What is
How do you
that?
do? Uno, you know.
You know.
Uno,
Uno.
you know.
You know.
Yes.
Alright.
U-N-O,
One.
That's what I thought UNO.
K-N-O-W.
Yeah, that's what I thought you said.
Yeah.
You know, Uno, yeah. Alright. Oops, you got a little T on the DVD there,
It's okay.
John. Anyway, do you want to take your position?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll
Swap
switch it. We'll switch around. Well, come on. Up
Gracias.
The front. Yeah, and here's my tea. Thank you, John.
It's Uno?
You know. No. You know, it's uno, you know.
Uno.
Uno, you know. Spelled it U-N-O.
Uno.
Y-O-U-K-N-O-W.
Oh.
Uno, you know.
Wait,
Okay.
This translates as the one you know.
Right.
Oh, that's what it
Right.
translates.
That's why I said
What,
Uno one.
Japanese or what?
It's Spanish and English.
Oh,
Wouldn't that be-
Spanish. Oh,
wouldn't that be-
Spanish.
A
Oh,
Wouldn't that
blend,
be-
cross-cultural.
Yeah.
El Uno, you know?
You know, yeah, the one you know. Okay.
It could be. Please, let's not be so formal.
Okay.
Thank you, you are most high.
Most high. Not yet, but
Depends on what's in the tea.
couple more cups, we should be there. Come on in, please. You may need to pull in a chair. Find the one out in yonder, and
There's one under this box.
I know it's under the
It's
box.
holding the floor down.
Holding the box up.
It serves two purposes.
Okay, let me see. What does that look like? There we go. Wore a blue shirt on purpose, right?
Yeah. Excuse me, I had to put my phone on my foot, on my shoe.
Oh, okay.
Your phone
I
on your
learned that
foot on
from
your shoe.
This fellow, Get Smart.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Hey there, Adam.
Hello, how are you?
Welcome to the tea party.
Thank you.
All right. I don't know if you had things to discuss with Adam as well. Do you have things to discuss with Adam as well? or
Yeah,
not?
yeah, I left you a message earlier. I don't know if you got it. You're gonna have a birthday party. We're gonna have a birthday party. Judson and John and I are gonna host it, but it's for my birthday, which is this Sunday, June 29th. At 4 o'clock, we're gonna have it at our home in Weaverville.
Nice.
And you're invited.
Awesome.
So we're gonna start at about 4 o'clock. Yeah,
It's a
Martha's
tea party.
invited Kensaku.
Excellent.
So we're all gonna be there. And other people.
Nice.
Yeah, and
Fun.
hopefully including Matt and Doris. And yeah, we'll see how it plays out.
Okay. Awesome.
Alright, so that's what's going on. Alright. So yeah, we're gonna have tea. We're gonna start off with tea around 4. We'll probably have like hot dogs and maybe some ribs and
Excellent.
stuff like that. Or maybe bring your own beer or whatever.
Look at
Or maybe
you.
bring a little
You
food
disappear.
maybe or whatever.
Okay.
We'll try to
I
work
disappeared?
on some of it.
Did you see yourself on TV?
You know, as I
Is
said,
that
we'll
your-
have a
No,
little bit.
I don't
and
watch
just,
TV much.
You know,
Look at
whatever
that
y'all
TV
wanna
over
do.
there.
So is that your birthday?
And do this.
Yeah, it's my birthday. Yeah,
Excellent.
coming up on
See?
Sunday. Yeah.
You're not
Mine's coming
there.
up soon too. Mine's on the 7th.
Where am I?
Oh, you're not July 7th.
You're-
Alright.
You're a floating
I'm not
head.
there?
Well,
I'm here.
that's approaching a
You're a
arbitrary
there.
To
holiday.
a large
of mine.
degree, you're a floating head.
When I was
They're floating
younger, I
heads.
designated arbitrary holidays. Hold on, let's see if we could get you in.
Go ahead. Arbitrary
Yeah,
holidays.
Yeah. Well, July 9th, of course, is Summer's Day. And Summer's Day means it's approximately midway through the summer, you know, if you're in school, that is. And you better get your bearings and really celebrate summer because in theory it's going to disappear before you know it. But anyway, but Summer's Day is really thought to have been back then, instead of one day, it could even be construed as the 7th of July to the 11th, you know, kind of like a 4-day extended celebration type thing, where the 9th might be the height of it. So anyway,
This is part of the collection of holidays, including what, Woolly Worm Day and...
Tent Caterpillar Day was on the May 31st. We just passed that one recently, and then earlier on St. Patrick's Day, also just happens to be celebrated Inchworm Day as well, to celebrate when the inchworms come out.
A lot of celebrations of worms.
Yeah, and the tent caterpillars would come out in late May. This was up in New York, you know, when I was a little kid, I used to collect them. Oh, February 28th is Diamond Day, you know, and it's to celebrate.
You should be marking these on your calendars.
Yeah, I mark all these
future reference.
All these weird holidays of mine.
When is Tapeworm Day?
Oh, no.
Day, but and there's, I think there's only one
Remind me to
more.
be out of the country on that day.
The other
Hide
day
the
is
house.
Deca Day, and that's December 5th. And that's to celebrate
Yeah,
the weird.
December 5th.
Yeah.
Is what day?
Deca Day.
Huh?
Deca, D-E-C-C-A.
Record
Deca.
day? Like the record
It's
label?
like the record label, exactly. And Deca Day is it's actually when the first time I spent at one of my friend's house when I was a little kid, like in 2nd grade. But I remember he thought he saw something outside, like someone was leaning something against the tree, like a coffin or something, like they were carrying it. He was probably messing with me, of course. But in a sense, I retained the notion of that, you know, to celebrate the weird and unusual on that day. But anyway,
The weird and unusual. So Deca Day is a celebration of the weird and unusual.
yeah, and I thought there might have been another one I made up more recently around January 20th, but I forgot what it was for. And you know, back in the 90s.
Oh, well, if you've forgotten what it is, just forget
It's
it.
like, oh wow, it's gone
right.
until I can remember it again. Anyway, oh yeah, and in maybe in future weeks you could be working on transferring the videotapes, the VHS tapes to DVDs. Here's what to look for. What's most precious to me, of course, if I could get my time warp on film. If I could see it again. I know I filmed it and I could never find it. even shortly after I filmed it, but I you know, unless I filmed over it, but I'm assuming
It's hard to keep a time warp on film.
you're right, maybe it disappeared.
Yeah.
But what it is, what I was actually filming, there's with cirrostratus clouds, those high thin clouds in the daytime, you get and at night you get the phenomenon of the halo around the sun or the moon, right? And it's it could either be at 11 degrees, 22 degrees, or 44 degrees. It may be even other measurements out. It's nearly always 22, you know, like 99% of the time or more. You know, it's always 22. But anyway, what I saw, I think, was a rare 44-degree halo, or portion thereof. I don't think it was necessarily the whole thing, but probably at least a third of it, or half of it. And it was just incredible. And so I got my camera out, and I started to film it, right? And as I filmed it, I remember a good part of it was up in the trees. This was in Anchorage, right? And it was probably around 6 at night or whatever, but the sun's still up. And what it is of course by definition they're always centered on the sun or the moon. The sun or the moon is the center of the halo, and this time it wasn't. It was off by maybe about 30 degrees or so, or at least 15 degrees. If you translate that into time, it would be an hour or two off. So it's like I filmed a time warp in a sense. This is circa 1994, I believe. I think is when it was. Maybe around September 5th or something like that. Or hold it. No, it might have been later. It might have been 1995. I'm trying to remember. Or it might have been the spring of 1995 because I thought it was around episode 30 or so, but maybe
I'll pay attention to episode numbers then.
Yeah, pay attention to episode numbers, and basically anything below 35 you really want to pay attention to.
Okay.
And usually the ones with background footage have two little lines on them, like an equal sign up towards the corner of the label, and the background footage may be right before or right after the show. We could go over this in more detail later. But
so you separated. You've got the show, but you've also included just the background footage by itself.
What it is they're both on the same tape.
Okay.
It's the show, the pre-tape for the next show perhaps, and the background footage, all over an hour or so of tapes. The background footage is at an unknown location, and it would be only like maybe a minute or two. As I said, it's marked with the little equal thing. Right. There are probably other background footage with it. The sequence of the trees is probably only about 10 seconds or so, but it's basically looks like I'm filming the sky through the trees.
Casey Waters.
So pay attention to stuff like that.
Degree is in meteorology.
And so if you see stuff like that, and the clue would be on the actual tape to prove it. I didn't get the sun and the halo in one shot because it was 44 degrees. It was pretty far out, but there was a beam of the sun shooting off to the side because it was almost on the sun. And so you can see a sunbeam maybe shooting off at the halo. And if you could freeze frame it and line it up, you might be able to prove what I was saying, that it was not centered on the sun, that it was off by 15 or 30 degrees.
I'm glad you explained, and I thought maybe that you were mistaken about what you were really seeing, and that you had been transformed through a time warp to the future, and that you were actually seeing this 1/3 halo thing.
Yeah.
Was actually George Bush.
Thank you.
No, they have the HARP project up there, and who knows, it might have been something to do with the HARP. It was definitely very unusual, and I remember checking, and I had to check it at least twice, if not 3 times, visually lining it up, probably with the camera or without, just, looking up at the sky, because it was that amazing. And I think I might even went out and came back a couple of minutes later just to see, that it was still there. And I think it was. And then after that, I didn't care as much, and I went on because I was incredibly busy doing other things. And then what happened is a month later, I called the NWS in Anchorage and asked them if they observed it, if they made a note, on their hourly observation logs, that something like that happened, and they said they didn't. And then I described to them, just like I did to you all in detail, exactly what I saw. And I says, isn't that impossible, what I saw? And he says, as far as he knows, it was. You're watching the 420 roll.
is Puke, and you're watching the 420 roll.
Good morning. Welcome to the Pleasure Saucer.
Always, Cry Theater at Private 5.
I live in Swananoa, but I go to Warren Wilson College, and there's no TV exactly where I live.
Hey, That's right.